Hi, it's me and the star that won't stay straight on the top of my tree. The snow that's falling outside that you can't see, the puppy that's made a total mess of the place, but I learned today loves cloth wire-free, totally safe, ribbons. She's chewing on them, she's dragging them around, she's having a blast with them, and it's distracting. So hopefully that lasts for a while. Also there is the sound of my dishwasher. We're just gonna have to deal. And there is the sound of my neighbors upstairs and their very bass heavy music. And so I am just gonna say, you know what? Hopefully the wind sound of the fake snow to try and coax the real snow to snow a little harder out there, and the good cheer of the tree will drown out all of the background noise that I guarantee is an added bonus of this video. This is my Vlogmas number 2 video of 4. So I've done 1, this is number 2. There will be 2 more in the very few 8 days before Christmas gets here. And this is my birthday book haul video, and I'm posting this one today because it is my birthday. It's my birthday. I don't have big plans for today for my birthday. I've been receiving lots of phone calls and texts and Facebook messages, and I feel loved and cared for. But if the snow holds off a little bit, I don't know. I'm torn between wanting it to really snow and wanting it to not snow at all. Because if it holds off, then I have a ticket to go see Moulin Rouge, the musical, tomorrow downtown, which I love the movie, so I'm sure that the in-town experience will be even better. And then I'm supposed to go see Mr. Dickens and his play with a friend on Wednesday evening. And so I am hoping that either it snows so much that I just don't care about anything else, or it doesn't snow at all so that I can do these fun birthday happy things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, I have coffee. I have a fake fireplace. I have a beautiful tree. I have a well-behaved dog. I have living neighbors who are embracing life, and I'm gonna have clean dishes soon. But before all of that, I have a birthday book haul that I need to share with you. And as I pulled this stack of books together, how does this happen? How does it happen? I knew that I'd put in, oh, hello. Are you thanking me for the ribbons? I'm trying to show you Exhibit A. There, a little bit. You saw a little bit of Exhibit A. She's got a ribbon and she don't care. How does it happen that I think that I've bought maybe 10 books and then I realize the stack is 3 times that? So let's go ahead and get started on sharing these books. I did a thing. I joined Book of the Month and got myself a copy of Babel. And I'm excited to finally have joined the Book of the Month bandwagon. I've been kind of curmudgeon-y about Book of the Month. I don't like them saying that they find the best books, because they don't really. They find the most popular books. They find the books that they think will be the best sellers. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're finding the best books. And so I'm getting curmudgeon-y again. But I know that I did a test run. I used my sister as a guinea pig, and I got her a gift subscription for her birthday this year. And I know that she had a really great time with it, and I started to get a little FOMO. And when they had this $5 deal for your first book, I decided to just go ahead and give it a try myself. And I was gonna buy Babel anyway, and why not get it in hardback for $5? I mean, really, there's nothing to lose. So I went ahead and did it. And so Babel is one of the books I got myself. Also did, I did an order from Book Outlet. Actually I did 2 orders from Book Outlet over Black Friday, which was like a month of Fridays, and I got some really great books. So lots of these are going to come from that, and I've worked them into my plans for reading for 2023. So every book you see here will be read in 2023. No book is coming into this house in 2023 without a plan. So here we go. I got Matilda Bone by Karen Cushman. I've never read a single Karen Cushman book, and I own multiple Karen Cushman books. No, I've never read Catherine Called Birdie, and I haven't seen the new movie either. But that new movie has been an impetus for me to actually start reading some Karen Cushman, and Book Outlet had a bunch of them, and so I picked this one up, Matilda Bone. It sounded good. It says Matilda Bone is highly educated, especially for a girl in medieval times, and she has been taught to occupy herself with spiritual matters rising above worldly concerns, but when she's sent to the workshop in Bedpeg, the bone setter in Blood and Bone Alley, to serve as an apprentice, all her training and refinement is useless. In Peg's domain, nothing matters but earthly pursuits, such as healing the injured. But Matilda doesn't know the first thing about buying food and lighting a fire, let alone setting bones. How can she flourish in such a place? Does she even want to? Sounded like my kind of story. I picked up this, not gonna lie, absolute cover buy, but look at that cover, it's so pretty. This is The Bookshop of Dust and Dreams by Mindy Thompson. And this one says, also from Book Outlet, and this one says, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says it's 1944, Sutton, New York. Poppy's family owns and runs Rhyme and Reason, a magical bookshop that caters to people from all different places and time periods. Though her world is ravaged by World War II, customers hail from the past and the future, infusing the shop with a delightful mix of ideas and experiences. There's going to be other things going on in this book, but that gives you a feel for it. I'm finally getting around to this. This was another Book Outlet purchase. This is The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place, The Mysterious Howling, and this is, of course, a series. When I saw that they had a hard copy of it, I went ahead and picked it up. I like these original hard copy covers better than the paperback covers. So now I'll be on a mission to try and find the whole set in these covers if I enjoy this first book in the series. I picked up a nonfiction that I've been wanting to read for quite a while. This is Come Fly the World by Julia Cook, the jet age story of the women of Pan Am. The back says a lot of things, but I'll just read: glamour, danger, liberation. In a madman era of commercial flight, Pan Am World Airways attracted the kind of young women who wanted out and wanted up. So I'm excited to read that. I picked up for myself the second in a 3-book series, the second in a trilogy, by Colleen Oakes. This is a Queen of Hearts novel. It's called Blood of Wonderland. I read the first one in January of last year. So I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's a reimagining of the Alice in Wonderland series from the perspective of the Queen of Hearts. It gives her a backstory. It gives you lots of information about her. And I'm looking forward to digging into the second book. I don't own the third one. I'll get that, and maybe I'll read it in 2023. Maybe I'll wait till 2024. Who knows? I got this one, and it's so beautiful. I knew that it had a pretty cover, but it's just so much more stunning in real life. And that is The Last Garden in England by Julia Kelly. This is a dual timeline, a triple timeline. I just finished reading The Women of Chateau Lafayette, which was also a triple timeline, and absolutely loved it, so I'm digging this. Present day, Emma Lovell, 1907, Venetia Smith, and 1944, Beth Pedley. And they all take place in the same garden. So different author, similar concept, different storyline, but I'm looking forward to reading The Last Garden in England. When I said similar, I meant to Chateau Lafayette, The Women of Chateau Lafayette. I picked up this one. This is a nonfiction, Be My Guest by Priya Basil. Reflections on food, community, and the meaning of generosity. I've been wanting to read this one for a while as well. This is just going to be kind of like, it's not a devotional, but it's going to be kind of like a devotional sort of reflective, inward turning sort of a journey of a book. It says, when we gather around the dinner table among family or friends, We do more than just share a meal. The table is where the best conversations take place, on the day's events or the world's events, on religion and politics, immigration and culture, love and cooking. In the same way, Be My Guest is a conversation about all of those things, mediated through the sharing of food. I had meditation on the brain. And it goes on to talk more about that, but I am really looking forward to reading this. Can I have this? Can I have this? I think you're done. Hey Lola, can I have this please? I think you're done. I think you are. She says, Jenna, you don't know nothing about me. Nothing. She's gonna keep chewing on it. I am gonna try this series, Keeper of the Lost Cities. It was $1.39 on Book Outlet, so I figured might as well give it a shot. Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I don't think I need to talk about that one. I picked up The Betrayals by Bridget Collins. I've never read anything by Bridget Collins, but I am familiar with Bridget Collins, The Binding, etc. So this is at the Ancient and Elite Academy of Montvert. Society's best and brightest are trained for excellence in the Grand Jeu, the Great Game, a mysterious competition that combines music, art, math, poetry, and philosophy. Leo Martin once excelled at Montvert, but lost his passion for scholarly pursuits after a violent tragedy. He turned to politics instead and became a rising star in the ruling party until a small act of conscience cost him his career. Now he has been exiled back to Montvert, his fate uncertain. But this rarefied world of learning Leo once loved isn't the same place he remembers. Once the exclusive bastion of men, Montvert's most prestigious post is now held by a woman, Claire Dryden, the head of the Great Game. Leo feels a mysterious, eerily familiar connection to her, though he's sure they've never met before. As the legendary Midsummer Game approaches the climax of the Academy's year, long-buried secrets rise to the surface and centuries-old traditions are shockingly overturned. I heard somebody talk about this, and then I saw that it was at Book Outlet. Oh, hello. Thanks. You giving me thank yous for a fun time? She likes to say thank you when she's had a good time. Like, she'll say thank you after she eats. She'll say thank you after she gets a new toy. She'll say thank you after she finishes a bone. She likes to say thank you. She'll say thank you after a WALK. Anyway, I heard somebody talking about this and saw it on Book Outlet and thought I would give it a try because it sounded fascinating, and I don't remember who was talking about it or what they said, but it sounded more fascinating to me than the back of the book just sounded. I picked this one up from Amazon, I think, on purpose. I wanted to read this one in 2023. This is The Forgotten Novel by Courtney Ellis. This is a dual timeline. It says England 2014 and France 1915, connected through time to her great-grandmother by a shared English countryside home. An American nurse tries to piece together her family's tangled history. And this, when I first learned about it, when I first read about it, I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this, but when I first learned of this one, it reminded me a lot of the Mary Stewart books that I read this year, and I wanted to read it. So yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think what I'm trying to say is it lacks that like gothic-ish mysterious element that Mary Stewart usually tries to put into her novels, and is just the straight up like historical and mystery. Oh, Lola, did you spill your water and bring your bowl on the chair? Are you... This is a new fun game. She likes to pick up her bowl of water, specifically, empty it, and then carry the bowl around. So now I will have a gigantic wet spot on my floor. And she has her water bowl. I'm gonna let her just play with it, and I'm gonna keep going for now. Then I wanted to read this one, and it was at Book Outlet, so I got it. This is Water, Wood, and Wild Things by Hannah Kirshner, Learning Craft and Cultivation in a Japanese Mountain Town. I haven't posted yet my goals for my reading for 2023, but there's a reason why I got this one. There's a reason why I got Be My Guest. There's a reason why I got a couple of others that are in this stack, and if you're astute, maybe you can start to figure out what one of my reading goals is as the books get revealed. I picked up Witch Haven just because it sounds like a lot of fun. I don't think I need to talk about what that one's about. I don't know where the first one is, but I picked up 1 and 2 in this series, The League of Gentlemen Witches, and the first one is called something about Wisteria. The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, so I'm excited to read that. I picked up Walking in the Sacred Manor, Healers, Dreamers, and Pipe Carriers, Medicine Women of the Plains Indians. This is a nonfiction book that uses firsthand accounts of medicine women. It says medicine women on there, but I think that's not a real term. I'm not absolutely sure. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But healers, Native American healing, women specifically. So I'm excited about that. This is a series I've been meaning to read for quite some time. So I grabbed the first one in it by Jessica Day George. This is Tuesdays at the Castle. I don't think I need to talk about what that one is about either. I picked up Aaron Entrada Kelly's Those Kids from Fawn Creek. And realized when it arrived that I'd actually got myself a signed first edition copy from Book Outlet. And so here is the sign, the signature. It says, "Dear reader, welcome to Fawn Creek." And then there's her signature there. And with careful inspection, it does appear like it is really signed and not a computer generated graphic, which is kind of nice. I wouldn't mind either way. And I grabbed this because for the previous 2 years, I have taught younger students, 6th graders and 7th graders. And in my 6th grade classes, we have taught 2 different Aaron Entrada Kelly books. And I personally, like as a human being and an adult, have totally loved learning about this author through the eyes of my students, but also just through my own eyes as well. So I previously read Hello Universe with my students, and I previously read the one that she wrote about the that takes place during the explosion of the Challenger, which I always forget the name of, which I'm not seeing a list of all her books here. I'm not seeing a list. But anyway, that one. Lola, you're being very noisy, and there's already lots of noise, baby. Lola. It's exciting times when you have a steel bowl. And so anyway, I'm really excited to read this one. It says, usually the 12 7th graders were careful to leave their faces blank and expressionless. No one wanted to be the first to admit they were excited about anything. Lola, 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 stop. Come. Thank you. Can you stop for a minute? Can you stop? Gonna go back to it. But this, a real life new student, a real life new anything, was far more interesting than any science experiment. People from somewhere else just didn't come to Fawn Creek. So this one sounds like it has a mystery element to it. They're usually, they usually have really well-developed characters for children's literature and really hard-hitting topics told in an extremely age-appropriate manner. And I really enjoy her books. Then I picked up this one. This is Diana Giovanezzo, Antoinette's sister. I love reading about Marie Antoinette. This is fiction about her sister who does many things in her life. One of them is try to save Marie Antoinette, but also she ends up having to marry another of their sister's fiancés because that sister dies. So it's kind of like her story of how life and being a royal treated her, what she tries to do, how she tries to leverage what little power and influence she has to save the people around her who are also not the victims, but who are also living the results of their parents' and society's choices. And what kind of power does she actually have in the face of those things, in the face of history and in the face of society? She, being a woman in the 1700s, although one of the most possibly powerful kinds of women in the 1700s, what power does she actually have, if any? I picked up this as a pre-order. This is Kira Cass's standalone, 1,000 Heartbeats. History divides them, fate unites them, will love keep them together. It sounds a little bit like a Romeo and Juliet-esque type story, but I love Kira Cass. I mean, you can come at me for it. I know that she is silly, but I really love her, and I have enjoyed, like, I loved the Selection series. I loved the Siren. I like her standalones. I did not enjoy The Betrayal. I did not read. I read the first book in that series, and the others I left. That one just did not get me. But the Selection, loyal to my dying day to the Selection. And the Siren I loved, and so I am excited to read 1,000 Heartbeats. I got myself a new copy of Nicholas Nickleby for the January-February read. Oh, hello. Hello. And you're just coming over to say hello to the people. Are you excited about Nicholas Nickleby? Hmm? I got myself a new copy of Nicholas Nickleby because the copy that I read this from first a couple of years ago, I love, but it is a much smaller, like, mass market paperback copy from the 60s, from the 1960s, and it's got somebody's pencil annotations in it, and I love it, but it is so brittle and it's falling apart. Pages are coming out, the cover's coming off, and I just didn't think it could take a second read. It's also, like, so thick, so when you turn the pages, like, it's the spine is broken, and it's impossible to not be broken, but it's broken to the point where it's, like, gonna come apart. And so I just want to put it on a shelf and keep it on a shelf and love it from afar. So I picked up another used copy. You can see it's a library copy of Nicholas Nickleby in a Penguin Classics edition that I really enjoy reading from, and I'm excited to read Nicholas Nickleby with maybe a little bit larger font than the first time I read it. This is one of those books that I have planned for 2024. This is the book of Ichigo Ichie, The Art of Making the Most of Every Moment the Japanese Way. I'm looking forward to reading this. This is another one of those kind of meditative books in the same vein and for the same purpose. I have An Altar in the World by Barbara Taylor Brown, A Geography of Faith, which I am looking forward to reading. I have been wanting to read this series for such a long time, so I got myself the first book in the series, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and I plan on reading all three of these between January and March. Although I've only picked up the first book so far, just in case. If I really hate it, then I'm not saddled down with both of them. And yes, I could get them from my library, but I know that I want to own books. Like, the books that I've gotten from my library here at the end of the year, I've ended up ordering them for myself anyway, because I want them. I read them, I want them, for the most part. Here's the first book in the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. Yes, I did buy both of those that are out so far, and the third one is coming out in 2024, first half of 2024. And I know that I'm going to love them. I read the first bit of this, and these are used copies as well, by the way. Like, they're old library copies. So I'm not, it's like getting them from the library anyway, only you get to keep them. Anyway, the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels is a series that I know I am going to love. I read the first chapter standing in a bookstore of the Wisteria Lady Society, and I immediately fell in love with all of the Jane Eyre, like, nods, and just the writing style and the silliness of it. And I am here for this series, and I know I'm going to absolutely just adore everything about it. So I went ahead and just started collecting the whole thing. I'm going to just start piling these up back here. I'm putting books on your blanket. I am. Please don't chew on them, though. Please don't chew on them. I just need a little more space. I grabbed this amazing book, What Great Paintings Say, and this is published by the publishing company Taschen, and they do amazing art books. Here is just, there's full color. Every page has a full color print in it. They're not all huge, but they break down the meanings of the paintings and the symbology being used, and there are thousands of paintings in here. And Taschen is normally, this is normally like over $100 book, and I got it for $17. So I grabbed it when I could, and it was $17 brand new because it is one of a few that are left over from a new format of the same book that they've just put out. So they've done a re-release of this exact book, but in a slightly larger format, and I was lucky enough to be able to grab this one. And I do want to work my way, look at her eyes. I do want to work my way through maybe a painting a week or something. We'll see. But I'm really happy to have that, and I like to just have it sitting next to the clicker, the TV clicker, and just pick it up and look at it every once in a while. A book I'd like to work through this year is a 52-week devotional called Seasons of Wonder, Making the Ordinary Sacred Through Projects, Prayers, Reflections, and Rituals. So this is not just a devotional where you sit down and read a lesson, but there are actually things to do, challenges to take, and it's not daily, which is really hard for me. It is weekly, and so I'm excited to try my hand at this. It's also seasonal. I really want to dig into seasons. I picked up Walking the Invisible, Following in the Bronte's Footsteps by Michael Stewart. I had to order this from Book Depository, but I am really glad that I did. Actually, I think maybe I got it from Blackwell's. Might have been Blackwell's. But I had to get it not from the United States. And I am really glad that I got this. This is full of information and full of like biographical information and historical information about Haworth and the surrounding area. And also, when I get a chance to return to Haworth, there's enough detail in here. I've looked just briefly. I haven't read it, but I've looked briefly at it, and I think that it's set up in such a way that there's enough detail in there that I could recreate some of the walks and know what I'm looking at when I'm walking through it. So I did follow some paths and things and did some walks to the Bronte chair and all of those things when I was there. But I think this will be much more personal, and it's based a lot on their writings and things that we know about them and their habits. And so I'm excited about that. I've been wanting to read this for a really long time, and now the prequel, I think, novella. It might not be a prequel, but there's a companion novella that will be released in 2024 is coming out. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to read A Sorcery of Thorns finally by Margaret Rogerson. Oh God, this is so chaotic. Thank you. I love you too. Yes, I love you too. Thank you. I love you too. Yeah. My glasses are covered in puppy slime, but yeah, they're gross. Hey, Lola, honey, can you hop down for me? So I'm gonna give this a read, and I don't think it needs any introduction. Almost done. I picked up this one. This one just sounds like so much fun. The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. It says it's a hopeful book we all need right now. So it says Piper Parish's life on Frick Island, a tiny remote town smack in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, is nearly perfect. Well, aside from one pesky detail, her beloved husband Tom is dead. When Tom's crab boat capsized and his body wasn't recovered, Piper, rocked to the core, did a most peculiar thing. Carried on as if her husband were not only still alive, but right there beside her. She cooked him breakfast, walked him to the docks each morning, met him for their standard weekly dinner date at the One-Eyed Crab, and what were the townspeople to do but to go along with their beloved widowed Piper? Anders Caldwell's career is not going well. An ambitious young journalist, he'd hoped to be a national award-winning podcaster by now, rather than writing fluff pieces for a small-town newspaper, but when he gets an assignment to travel to remote Frick Island and cover their boring annual cakewalk fundraiser, he stumbles upon a much more fascinating tale. An entire town pretending to see and interact with a man who does not exist. Convinced it's the career-making story he needs for his podcast, Anders returns to the island to begin covert research and spend more time with the enigmatic Piper. But he has no idea that out of all of the lives he's about to upend, it is his that will change the most. I'm really just super looking forward to reading this. It sounds like a feel-good movie. I'm here for this one. So this is The Invisible Husband of Frick Island. And then finally, I have this one, which I did not purchase and did not plan on reading, but I'm very excited to read, as is Lola. This is The Awakened Brain by Lisa Miller, PhD, The New Science of Spirituality and Our Quest for the Inspired Life. This is the author of The Spiritual Child, which I have read pieces of, but not the whole of, and it's been a while. But this Lisa Miller is going to talk to our school in the end of January, beginning of February, and we were all given a copy of The Awakened Brain and asked to read it before she arrives. And so I am excited to read that. Let's see what it is about, just a little bit about what it is about. It says, what is life showing? Oh, that's right. I opened this up and read it to a coworker in my office, and I was like, it sounds a little culty. The awakened decision is the better decision. The awakened brain is the healthier brain. The awakened life is the inspired life. I don't disagree with any of those statements. It just came across as a little culty. But it says, what is life showing me now? Oh, hi, lover. Can you calm down for a little bit? I'm almost done. What is life showing me now? I think it's showing me I need to finish this up because my dog is done. Whether it's through meditation or a walk in nature, saying a prayer, or reading a sacred text, there are many ways to tap into a heightened awareness of the world around you and your place in it. In The Awakened Brain, psychologist Dr. Lisa Miller shows you how. Weaving her deeply personal journey of awakening with groundbreaking research, Dr. Lisa Miller's book reveals that humans are universally equipped with a capacity for spirituality, and that our brains become more resilient and robust as a result. For leaders in business and government, truth seekers, parents, healers, educators, and any person confronting life's biggest questions, The Awakened Brain combines cutting-edge science, blah, 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 with the on-ground application for people of all ages and from all walks of life, illuminating the surprising science of spirituality and how to engage it in our lives. There we go. So there we have it. This has been an incredibly chaotic, very noisy, very wild, greatly interrupted, longer than I thought it would be birthday book haul. But that is the definition of the last 2 weeks. It's my birthday now. It's the first official day of my break. I need to run, looking to see if it's snowing, I need to run a package to mail to my niece. It's not going to get there in time for Christmas, but that's okay. She's got other things from me. It will get there eventually. Other than that, today is a day to just kind of clean up and get organized and set things up for the most fun and relaxation possible with the days of break that I have. You will see me again very, very soon for the third of 4 Vlogmas posts. I think in that one I am doing some Christmassy things out and about and not in this spot. And then for the final one, for the final Vlogmas, I'm going to talk about what I read that was Christmassy, and goals and plans for the upcoming year. It's going to be super, super fun. I gotta go because things are getting wild down here. Hey Lola, what are you doing? You doing a crab walk? What are you doing? She was walking sideways. I gotta go. I will see you later. I gotta edit this, get it posted, go mail package, get stuff done. Let's go read.